Hello everyone, I'm MVL and today we're doing a quick pickup video for the month of March. Now, if you haven't seen my Switch unboxing video, you should check that out right now. And moving on immediately to the console I will be playing Zelda on. It's my new Zelda system. I can play it as a console or on the gamepad. I even picked up a Pro controller for it. And people say it doesn't have that many games for it, but I disagree. It is the Wii U! Ha ha ha! Gotcha! So, why did I pick up a Wii U? Well, if you've seen the Danger Zone, I already own a Wii U game, Star Fox Zero, which came with Star Fox Guard. And I held off buying the console until I tried that game out for that episode on the Jonin Monkeys console, and it wasn't that great of a game. The controls are really bad, but there are many games I do want on this system, so I did pick it up eventually now for Zelda. Now, the Switch I unboxed actually belonged to my brother, and I just couldn't wait to play Zelda, so I decided to pick up a Wii U. I do eventually plan to buy a Switch. I'm just waiting for a few more games to trickle out for it. But as I already own some Wii U games, I decided to finally pick one up. Now, I got this console boxed secondhand. It came with a charging cradle, it came with a stand for the Wii U and the gamepad, and I picked up separately. After I played Zelda Breath of the Wild for about 10 minutes on the gamepad, I decided I couldn't deal with that, so I immediately went out and picked up a Pro controller for the Wii U. Now, this is a vast improvement over the gamepad, which ran out of battery pretty much immediately. You can turn off notifications and the screen being on while you're playing with another controller, but it still runs out of battery fairly quickly. So I picked up a Wii U Pro controller which has 80 hours of battery life and is a vast improvement, much more comfortable to play games on, so that's what I'm playing. And games like Zelda Breath of the Wild, which support a Wii U Pro controller, you can launch the game and you don't even need the gamepad on, which is great because I haven't charged it up since. Moving on, normally I'd start off with the older games, but I just can't not talk about Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, as you know, I bought this for the Wii U, and this game is fantastic. I can't tell you how good this is. It's like Zelda meets Skyrim. It's just amazing. The mechanics in this game, the climbing is so good. The game has a vast world to explore, many locations and characters to interact with, many monsters to battle in your quest to save the Kingdom of Hyrule. Now, the next game I picked up for the Wii U is ZombiU. Now, this is a horror zombie game that does utilize the gamepad, but supports a Pro controller, which is probably what I'll be using. And this game has also come out on the Xbox One and PS4 since, under the title Zombie. I heard a lot about it when it came out. The tagline it gives you on the back is 2 screens, twice the fear. Feel the tension rise as you manage both your TV and your Wii U gamepad screens. Well, that sounds fun, doesn't it? This game is a bit of a hidden gem, and I'm very glad to pick it up for the low price of £4, which is what I paid for it. Now, moving on, I picked up a bunch of Dreamcast games, and it's very rare I find these out in the wild, but I was able to find a bunch of them in a local record shop and a nearby shop in Truro. So I picked up Charge and Blast. Now, this is a 3D run-and-gun shooting game, and yeah, this looks crazy. I don't see a lot of copies of this on eBay. Most of them are for some reason sealed, but it does look pretty cool. It looks great, lots of explosions, destroying stuff. What more could you ask for in a computer game? The next game I picked up is Fighting Force 2, a sequel to Fighting Force 1, which I believe was on the PlayStation. This is a 3D beat-em-up game, and I don't think we get enough of those. 2D beat-em-up games, of course, are vastly superior, but there are a bunch of games like this that I do enjoy. The Bouncer on the PS2 is one of them that I do like. This game features a stunning new 3D game engine, amazing visuals and advanced special effects, fierce hand-to-hand combat and deadly combination moves. So that seems pretty sweet. I also got Shadow Man. This is a horror game. It's got zombies, it's got ghouls, it's got creepy churches and evil. This game was ported to a number of systems, but I was looking for it preferably on the Dreamcast and I was able to find it, so that's cool. Another game that was on more than one system, Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation. Now, the Dreamcast version in this includes remixed audio and some exclusive artwork, so that's pretty cool. The original Tomb Raider games, I often had a problem with the kind of exact nature of the jumping mechanics and things like that, which I believe they improved vastly as they went on. But I do enjoy the Tomb Raider game series, so I am happy to pick that up. The last game I got for the Dreamcast is Virtua Fighter 3 TB, as in Team Battle. Now, you may have heard of the Virtua Fighter game series before. Started off in the arcade and on the Saturn. Not a particularly impressive looking fighting game, but it's a Dreamcast game nonetheless. I paid £3 for this and I do not often get the chance to pick up Dreamcast games. For the PlayStation 1, I got a couple of games. First up, In Cold Blood. Now, this is in a disgusting platinum case, but that's not really an issue because there is only one disc here out of two. Just didn't check it when I picked it up in person. I should have done, but there's only one disc in here. I'm going to locate a black label version so I don't have to look at this disgusting platinum case, which will have both of the discs with some artwork on the discs, and it will be playable. It describes itself as a film noir thriller, and I do like the look of this from what I see on the screenshots and from what I've read in the manual, so I will be picking up a version of this and you should see gameplay footage of it. The next game I picked up for the PlayStation 1 is Strikers 1945 2. Now, this is a sequel to Strikers 1945, would you believe? A cool arcade shoot-'em-up, vertical scroller ported to the PlayStation 1. Now, I do believe the PlayStation also got arcade ports of 1 and 2 together. Nevertheless, I found this very cheap in Biggie's Games and DVDs, and I love my shoot-'em-up games, so I had to pick it up. Next up, a couple of PC games. First one I picked up is Stonekeep. Now, this game actually came in a cardboard coffin case, a very unusual packaging. It's a dungeon crawler roleplay game by Interplay, and hopefully I'll be able to get something to run this so I can show you some gameplay footage. Next up, Hard to Be a God. Now, this is a sequel and based on the novel by the Strugasti brothers. Have you got what it takes to be a god? Well, I picked this up for £1 in this kind of cool steel case, and I can't really complain at that price. Another game I picked up very cheap is HellForces. Hell has come to your PC. Now, this is a horror first-person shooter game, and I really couldn't find that much information about this. It looked cool and it looked interesting, and it looks very bloody, so that's why I picked it up. Moving on to the PlayStation 2, I picked up Extermination. Now, I got this in a charity shop for around about £1, and it has all the telltale signs of water damage, including on the manual the staples are rusted, and I'm very familiar with what water damage looks like because a lot of my collection was ruined by water at one point. So this is a rather uninspired looking shooter. I mostly picked it up because the case is shiny and it was very cheap. Next up, I got a few Xbox original games. I got The Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. Now, this is based on the book and not the film, although it did come out after the film, which is the buzz they probably capitalised on. I believe they initially planned to make sequels to this game following all of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but they didn't sell quite enough copies of the first game to make that happen. Next up, Rogue Ops. Now, this is a stealth game for the original Xbox. It was a multi-platform game, but the Xbox often had the best ports of games. They often looked better on it. This looks kind of interesting. Didn't pay a lot for it, so there you go. And finally, for the original Xbox, I picked up Yager. Take to the skies, to a place where ambition and anarchy collide, where awe-inspiring graphics carry an epic story to the majestic heights. I can't finish reading that. So this is a sort of sci-fi themed flight simulator where you have more advanced aerial combat than you would have in a regular flight simulator game. And finally, I picked up something I've been looking for quite a while, and I got it in a quite unlikely format. It is Wild Guns Reloaded. Now, apologies for the quality of this game footage. My Elgato game capture actually broke and I'm getting it fixed, so what you're seeing right now has been recorded directly from the television with my camera. Regardless, I always try and get you gameplay footage for all games in my pickup videos. Now, this is a port by Natsume, serious fun, out of Wild Guns for the Super Nintendo. But they have added new bosses and new weapons. It's the classic game but revamped. I'm really glad to pick this up for the PlayStation 4. It's really sweet that games like this and the Shantae games and things like that are being ported to the PlayStation 4, because Wild Guns is a great local multiplayer shooter game, but it's quite short, which is why they've added extra content. But if you wanted to pick that up in the Super Nintendo in the PAL region, you're looking at spending £150. This only cost me £30 to get this imported. It's actually an American game, but the PS4 is region free, so it's not a problem. So that's really sweet to pick that up. And that's all of my pickups for March. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.